All right. I think that's about enough of that. Hey guys. Hey, what's going on? Hey, hi, it's me. It's Tech. It's Technical. How you guys doing? Uh, here's the note we'll start this on. This is still the old rip that I've been using for the whole time, basically. Um, I have the remaster. I have not cracked it open yet. That's gonna come sometime soon-ish, but gonna have to wait on that for a little bit longer. It literally came out, as of time of recording, it literally came out like maybe less than 12 hours ago. And I had other things to do with my day, so I was not able to kind of go through and you know, play up to where we are. I do plan on doing that, if I'm being 100% honest. I just didn't do it yet because I have other things that I want to be doing. Namely, this seems to be pretty dang close. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but there's like just like how in like video game development there's like quarters, financial fiscal quarters that businesses have to make to put their shit out. And it feels like gacha games also have like quarters that they revolve around, at least when it comes to like events. So like it's somewhat well known that MiHoYo, they have their 3 games. It's Genshin, Zenless Zone Zero, and Star Rail. And their kind of event scheduling is kind of planned around when one is in a major patch, another one is like kind of in like a fun little event break patch, and then another one is kind of in like a dead period, quote unquote dead period. And they kind of play in a cycle there together. Something that I have noticed is that like so right now, Grand Order is kind of wrapping up its Summer 8 event. It's still got like 43 hours or so on it, but in addition to that, As Your Lane just had their Atelier collab, not Ryza. That was a previous collab, although they brought it back for this. I don't remember which one it is, but today was the very, very last day in order to do it, which is also the last day in order to fully kind of go for the Grand Order summer event. Still technically got one more day, but And there's also probably a couple of other gacha games that I can point and look, they're kind of syncing up a little bit. But the point is that I spent all of today grinding out that Atelier event, and let me tell you, it's a lot. I don't know who here listening to this plays or knows about As Your Lane, but their last Atelier event was gigantic, and this one was not much smaller. It did, in fact, take me, but I was able to grind the whole thing up. It was crazy. I didn't even read the gacha story, which is fine because like As Your Lane does in fact have a story. It's kind of weird and complex, and I can't get into it right now, no matter how much I really, really want to, and I do. But the collab stories more than anything are just kind of strange, I'll say. I think they have a lot of really fun stories, and when they want to tell like fun stories, they do look good. And when they want to tell like their main quote unquote stories, that they're fairly interesting. Again, I can't go into it; it's too much. But yeah, I am currently still grinding away at that Grand Order event. I'm doing that right now on my new phone. I got a phone in the last time that I got a new phone in the last time that we've spoken to each other. because my old phone fell out of my pocket from a height of maybe 3 feet, maybe, and then the button broke and I couldn't use it anymore. So I had to get a new one. The guys that I took it to, like, to maybe fix the button, they were like, "Yeah, we can fix your button, get it all fixed and good and new. But it might not have like the thumbprint scanner. So, pay us $100 and maybe the thumbprint scanner will still work." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, man. At that rate, I'd rather just get a new phone. I've had this one for like 9 years, so maybe it was time." But that's somewhat irrelevant. It's actually a really nice phone. I really like it. Anyway, what else? Oh, right. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but this is not the Hollow Ataraxia re-release. Like I said, it came out like less than 12 hours ago. Haven't had time to put hands on it. I did get it, and you should too if you're watching. If you are watching this right now, and if you're in the middle of all of this, and on like the far end of the middle of a Hollow Ataraxia playthrough, you should probably play Hollow Ataraxia yourself. Just to say you did. Just, so you can hear the actual voice acting when I decide for the times I don't want to do it. It's just do it, man. There's nothing wrong with play it. It's almost a direct continuation of Stay Night, and that shit rocks socks, and so does this one. There's no reason for you not to. But anyway, I am going to be kind of off-screening Hollow Ataraxia to kind of get it up to snuff. There's a part of me that was like, you should keep playing in the kind of the old one just to see what the translation, like what the difference is in the translation. And I was like, yeah, that's a kind of good idea, but at the same time, like, I already, like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. I don't. There was a thought between like the remaster translation team is going to be different and they're going to change things in certain ways, but like I'm already playing like a modified version of Hollow Ataraxia, and there was even a thought of like, hey, because they're the two different versions, I could always just do like what I did for what's it called, Evansfield, and be like, hey, so this is the difference between this one and this one. Yeah, hey, oh wait, but like again, like I'm already playing like a modified version. There'd really be no point in it. So, I'm going to make the switch to the new version as soon as I can. Probably in 2 weeks, which is probably when I'm going to upload this video because I am desperately behind. But hey, if you are watching them in order, cool. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Today I have measurements in place so that I don't fall asleep mid line read, which is where we're gonna start here. I'm gonna go as far back into this event as I can, and then I'm going to redo it because I feel really bad about falling asleep in the middle of it. It's Anyway. All right. Oh man, I was so out of it. I don't even remember this. What the fuck? We clink our glasses together. I know they were like drinking. I don't remember why. We clink our glasses together before lifting them to our mouths. I'm more than a little hesitant. I get a premonition of shock similar to when Fujini tricked me into drinking vodka for the first time as a prank. On the other hand, the drink is likely to evaporate if I just keep pondering about this. Alright, if Sokka and Saber can both manage it, then I should be no problem for... Way too strong, Illiya. Tiny German child. Illiya inclines her head a little as though to say, is that so? But as for our two drinking companions... Taste is unusual, but it's pretty good. Indeed, it is true that it is quite different from any spirits that I have tasted. That must be due to some special technique used in its making. Says occasionally samples a nightcap Rin and actual literal King Arthur. Makes me wonder what's in it. The two of them are both playing wine critics while they drink. Regular drinkers are really in a different class, I think, and I'm finding myself unable to match the pace of their refills. Ugh, my tongue still stings. Oop, shit. I wonder if I can get away with taking some water on the some of the water on the table and using it to rinse out my... Yeah? A highly unusual utterance suddenly escapes either Saber's or Tosaka's lips. As I look up wondering who it was, I'm met with two pairs of eyes staring heatedly at me from across the empty glass. Shira, it's not good to let glasses stay empty, you know. Whoa, Tosaka drunk already? And on top of that, Saber's gone completely silent and her face is bright red. Even I underestimated the true power of this alcohol. Did you say yeah? Are you supposed to be a cat rean? Yeah. Yeah, the heck are you saying, Yasfield? I didn't say anything like yeah. She said yeah. Most definitely did say yeah. Her A's are changed into nyas. Besides, Illiya sounds pretty original too. Though in contrast to my praise, Illiya, whose hatred of cats is notorious, is looking at Tosaka rather dubiously right now. This is amazing. Feels really nice. But sure, you aren't drinking anything now. This is weird. This Tosaka before us is definitely getting weird. Could it be that she's trying her best to act sober, but the influence of the drinking alcohol on her is like a strange filter on everything she says, and her behavior now is the result? And then there's Saber, who hasn't said a whole thing throughout the whole conversation. Hey Illiya, is this stuff really safe to drink? That's strange. Could it be? Looking perplexed, she removes the cork from the bottle and takes a sniff. Hey, what's going on, Illiya? Shame on you, Liz. If you keep your experiments in bottles like these, even I'm gonna get them mixed up. Teehee, Pero. Illiya giggles as she lightly wraps herself in the head. Oh yeah, literally the Teehee Pero. So the target event complaint should be currently on the currently absent Liz, but... It's true. I sneaked out of the castle behind Salah's back, but I never thought something like this would happen. Did you just say experiments? Oh, they can cause some pretty strange side effects. But they're basically harmless. If that's what you drank, then no wonder it acted this way. What are you saying, Emiya? I remind you to explain yourself now. So this is the effect of that particular experiment, huh? That's right. It could definitely be some drug that can alter people's senses and speech patterns, couldn't it? It's a kind of hallucinogen. It alters perceptions and makes the drinker more susceptible to altered states, like drunkenness or hypnotism. Reed loves cats, so it makes sense that it's part of her awakening. Yeah, what did you say just now? I told you not to say Nyavin. You know how much I hate that. Tosaka drunkenly plasters herself all over a thoroughly disgusted Illiya. I don't remember this shit at all. I don't know how far I got. Am I ever glad I followed my intuition that didn't have any... Am I ever glad I followed my intuition that didn't have any? No doubt about it. Gulp down something as strong smelling as that and something's bound to react. Huh? Yeah, fun. Yeah, let's come to this. Yes, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna get it. Yeah. Save me, Shiro. Did you not check the contents of the bottle first? I'll try asking Illiya as I... Oh, did you not try checking the contents of the bottle first? I try asking Illiya as I push her behind my back for protection. The Tosaka before me with her fangs bared, hissing, resembling nothing more than a cat defending its territory. I did check, just to be sure I gave some to Tiger before I brought it to you. Oh no. Ah, so she became a tiger. She didn't act any different than she usually does, so I thought it was safe. I leave in a regular beerzen to turn Fujini into a tiger. It's about what you'd expect from her not to be affected by Illiya's drug, or for the effect to be no different from her usual behavior. Hold on a second, didn't Saber drink it too? That's what I'm saying. Saber, are you alright? Saber has kept her head down and not said a word this whole time. I do hope she hadn't had a bad reaction to it. I'm okay. Go. I think I just do default, yeah. That loud, huh? Everybody laughs. You got the whole club laughing right now. Hold on. That's cute. What the heck, Saber? You sound so funny. Yeah. Go. I see. Saber would be a lion. I figured she might be a dog or something, but when you remember how much she likes that stuffed lion. Go. Shiro, you drink some too, go. Yeah, that's right. Just enjoying yourself watching us not being a part of it. It's definitely not fair, yeah. If that's so, then Illiya should drink it first. I'm sure she turned into like a fox or something. As the two beasts close in on me, I take aim at Illiya, trying to divert their attention. The little white devil just sticks out her tongue and laughs. White. No way, didn't you know that drinking and smoking are prohibited from minors, Oni-chan? Ah, shut up. Never stopped you fucking before. Don't you play dumb. But more importantly, Tosaka, Saber, calm down. Even if I start going, would it be any interest? Ooh, shit. Oh, God. Dog boy Shiro confirmed. Wan. All right. Oops, shit. Oh, that's right. Yeah, she's had that little exclamation mark over her head for the past while now. So let's see what she wants. And presumably the other track and field girls too. As I cross the pedestrian bridge, I see something that grabs my attention. Hey, isn't that Segusa from Tosaka's class? From the way she's walking in tiny steps that are almost hops, it has to be Segusa. We haven't made eye contact, and ordinarily would be strange for us to pass by each other like this, but... Oh, hey. I'm surprised, Yukika, you go to Homurahara? By the way, I was looking through like some Grand Order like craft essences and stuff. I think some translations are calling it Homurabara. That's weird. That's weird to see. I need to see the updated translations they did for the re-releases, because that is strange. You go to Homurahara? I thought you were younger. Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, Gokun. I'm really much older. No, I'm the one who should apologize. That was quite rude of me. A guy who would do something so rude as asking a woman her age has no right to call herself a man. himself a man.
But I'm also a little glad.
No, but I'm also a little glad. I'd rather have you as an older sister than just a friend. Oh, good. Is this his approach then? Damn it. Canadians. That seems out of left field. I'm putting some feelers out to figure collecting because Ame isn't shipping to America anymore for reasons. So some guy was like, "Hey, here's my collection of figures that I just got," and I was like, "Hey man, what are you using? Because Ame isn't shipping to America anymore." He's like, "I'm Canadian." I'm like, Canadians. Anyway.
Thanks. I wish my little brothers were as sweet as polite as you, Gil-kun. They're all so naughty.
You might be right about Kota and the others being too energetic. Running around wildly day in and day out, never heeding the trouble they might get into. Must be tough for you, Yukiko. Is Gil?
It is, Gil-kun. If you see my brothers doing anything they shouldn't, please try and stop them for me. They don't listen to anything I tell them, but I think they would if it were Gil-kun saying it. They really look up to you, you know?
That's not true. They do listen to you, Yukiko. You don't need to worry about them. Your brothers would never do anything to make you sad, even if I'm not there to watch them. Well, it is a problem that they try to cause trouble for you on purpose, though. Even I can't deter them from that. Well, this seems perfectly peaceful, but what is that guy doing with Segasa? I hide behind a bench and continue observing. You know, like a normal person. That blonde boy's unmistakably Gilgamesh. Better known as Kid Gil. Gil. The charismatic kid who's lately become a godfather to the brats of the brat mafia of Miyama kids. Oh, hey, that Hunter x Hunter collab is live on Grand Blue. By the way, Yuka, you don't have track and field practice today. Blah, blah, blah. You don't have track and field practice today? Does that mean you're free this afternoon?
Yes, completely free. I finished all of the laundry this morning so I can relax until dinner time.
Oh, so you came here for a walk in the park. I'm so glad. Sometimes I come to the park to get away from trouble at home. Who is your trouble at home? Where is your home, Gilgamesh? You're a child. Also, your master was Kirye, and he's dead now. Yep, that's the wrong mouse. And wait for things to blow over, but it looks like my luck has changed today.
Gil-kun, you don't get along with your mother, or...
Oh, did Kota tell you? It's not my mom. I live with my guardian. She's really moody and gets mad at me over the slightest... It's Karen, isn't it? What the fuck is that? This kid's really moody and gets mad at me over the slightest things, like the polar opposite of you, Yukiko. No, even comparing you to her is inexcusable. After all, she's just my employer. But you're the person I like. Little scamp. Seriously, if I've got to have a guardian, no matter what, I'd much rather have... If I've got to have a guardian no matter what, I'd much rather you were my master, Yukiko. Hey, man. Careful throwing around the words like master in public as a child.
Yeah? Master?
Yeah, exactly.
No, more importantly,
Yeah, the person I like. Didn't I tell you? I like to see you as an older sister much more than just a friend. How about it, Yukiko? You ever been with a younger boy before? Oh my god.
Gil-kun,
You bastard. So this is where your true colors come out.
That I'm a good little boy routine was just an act, just as I thought. This rabbit like Sega will be gobbled up. Stop right there! What do you think you're doing? This park is a public place, you sex fiend! Did he really call Gil a sex fiend? Emiya-kun? Oni-san. Sega's is separated from the blonde kid with a cry of surprise. On the other hand, Kid Gil shoots a disgruntled look in my direction. I know what you're about, Gil. Goodbye, Emiya-kun. I just remembered I gotta go do something. So bye. Whoosh. She runs away with the speed of a wild rabbit. Track team. She was so startled that I began to feel bad about what I did. You did call somebody in that area a sex fiend. Good grief. Me a sex fiend? You're the last person I want to hear that from, Oni-san. Am I wrong? I saw you put in the moves in Segusa. I don't know what game you think this is, but there are some people you shouldn't tease, you know. Also, we don't have that patch enabled. No, that's just rude. I truly do like Yukika. Liar. No, wait. Doubting your sincerity there would be pretty rude. So, are you, like, serious about her? Child? I spoke the truth. A woman like Yukika would be my ideal type of partner. If. He says such an embarrassing line so boldly that I began to feel embarrassed for doubting him. Well, then, I'm sorry for thinking you were playing with your feelings. Still, this sure is a weird turn of events. What happened to you being into Saber? Saber-san's son. I have no interest in that. Perhaps she might make a useful vassal, but she's unsuitable to be a lifelong partner. That's a very ominous thing to say for a child. So in short, you like Segusa for her maternal-like qualities? Like her supportiveness? It's not it, Oni-san. It's not that Yukika is supportive, rather, she's someone who has to be taken under one's wing. Oh. I can understand, I guess. I don't want to, but... A wildflower is more precious to me than the most vibrant rose. To see how long one can shelter after a simple flower, leaving it just the way it is. That is, to me, what being supportive means for man. I'm kind of speechless. In short, this kid is saying that Segusa might lack any redeeming features, but that is a really good thing in itself. What do I do about this? I might really find myself coming to like this guy. So basically, instead of ruling over the person you like, you express your love by nurturing and looking after them. The only type of person one can rule over is one who wishes to be ruled over. Unfortunately, it seems I forget this once I grow older. If I had a choice, I would have liked to have become a good leader. You know, like older me. Man, why do I do things that make people scared of me? Wow. For the good of all the people in the world, this king should have stayed a child. Definitely, no doubt about it. Wait, then what happens if the person you've cared for doesn't turn out the way you like? Looking after someone means you won't force anything on them, right? What if that person ends up turning into somebody like, you know, that master you're so eager to avoid? If that happened, I would just discard them. It would mean it just wasn't meant to be. Well, there's some dangerous words there, kid. Take back the previous statement. This guy hasn't changed one bit. My callousness is part of his very nature that nobody can ever hope to change. Huh. So if Segusa would become more like Tosaki, you'd grow to love her less? My love wouldn't lessen. It just wouldn't grow anymore. It would cease to change for all eternity. It wouldn't increase, but neither would it die. Love, once it has appeared, can never be erased. It's not true, what they say about excessive love becoming hatred. It's simply that a newly born hatred has surpassed the love cultivated up until that point. This kid sure has some interesting things to say. So for example, a boy who currently believes in both the good and evil of humanity, one day is overcome by such hatred so as to render that love worthless to him. Interesting. Well, there are cases like that. No matter how far the man strays from human morality, problematically, he still has love.
And to other people, he looks as human as they are, so in the end he is hated as a human. If only he had just been entirely inhuman to begin with, he would have been designated a god instead. Bidding me farewell, the blonde child turns on his heel. He isn't heading in the direction that Segusa ran off to, but rather towards the bridge into Shinto. Hey, you're not going to go after Segusa? There's no need. My business with her is finished. You could get care struggling for her brothers, so she should be staying out until late in the night trying to find them and bring them home. That's very dangerous, isn't it? After all, tonight is the 4th night, and this bridge at night is a very dangerous place to be, so you never know what could happen. But thanks to you, Oni-san, Yukika has already gone home and will not return here until tomorrow. Bit of a shame, but still a tolerable resolution of the situation. And with a perfectly unperturbed smile on his face, the King of Heroes departs. Suddenly I feel unnecessarily sentimental, although he seems to be as capricious as ever in the face of this irregularity. Maybe he's finding just as much to treasure in these carefree days as the rest of us. That's kind of nice. Wallpaper. Hey! Yay! Well, we're stuck here now. Oh my god, there's so many things. A lot of them were written, damn. Holy shit. Wait, what is Caster doing here? Hold on, what? Alright, we might as well find that out. Almost time. We have quite an unusual guest coming to visit today. Actually, it looks like they're already here. Perfect. Standing up, I make my way to the entrance. Welcome. What? No one's there? Yeah, no one's there. Was it prank after all? Sheesh, ding dong ditch. Who does that these days? Even kindergartners in Fujini are too mature for... What the... Whoa! I couldn't tell when or how Caster got in, but there she is in our entryway counting the shoes. Bing bing. Hey. Oh, there you are, boy. If that's why the intruder alert barrier didn't react that you were wondering about, I simply asked it to ignore me. Hey. She doesn't spare so much as a glance my way, but keeps glancing at the shoes with a pensive look on her face. Does it bother her if the heels aren't all lined up neatly? By the way, does Sakura-san happen to be here? What, is that it? Jikaster, is this the home... Oh. Jikaster, this is the home base of a former enemy. Things between her, Tosaka, and Saber are precarious even now. I wonder why. Something dress. Anyway. She poisoned the dress. So if she's asking if Sakura, who might be on her side, is in. No, she's out shopping in Shinto today. She said she won't be back before nightfall. Well, that is a relief. Yeah, if you asked me ahead of time, I would have tried to hold... Wait, what? I'd much rather not be seen here by that girl. You see, she believes that I'm a model wife, doesn't she? If she knew that the model wife had come here to ask a boy for a favor like this... Oh, I see. You don't want to destroy the beautiful image she has of you. I recall a certain incident that went down in the shopping district. If Sakura were to find out, then she'd be disappointed to say the least. Hardly. I simply wish to avoid the embarrassment it would result. I think I understand. I won't let on to Sakura that you were here, and tell all the others, and all the others are out right now. So come in. Good to hear. Then let me say it properly. Good afternoon, boy. Nope, wait. Today, sensei might be more appropriate. Interesting. No, that's, lots of these have hollow hearts inside, so you shouldn't be so quick to just choose the biggest ones. I'm instructing a veritable authority in magic on how to select the best potato. Honestly, how did my life end up like this?
Why, yes, I already knew that, of course. This rule is the very embodiment of basic, after all.
Oh, laughed Caster, flashing me her standard bewitching smile. Well, there's barely a shred of her usual bravado in that laughter today. Like she knows she's bluffing. Like she knows I know she's bluffing. Then let's go with the meat and potato stew. That more or less falls under the heading of Japanese food. And I'm going to help out Caster in her pursuit of cooking skills, just like I promised her before, but she's in that outfit? Smack in the middle of this ordinary Japanese kitchen, clad in a fantastic outfit of multi-layered cloth, stands an unbelievably gorgeous woman. The discordant contrast is making me severely uncomfortable.
I wonder if Suichiro-sama likes meat and potato stew.
You're asking me?
Didn't you say that single males love a good homemade meal and meat and potato stew, boy?
I said it was the kind of dish that most would probably like. Call it a widespread delusion, or the self-centered dream of all men, or something like that, I don't know. Actually, quit worrying about that and roll up your sleeves. We can get started.
Oh, me with my head in the clouds. I heard you I really did. Unfortunately, they didn't draw a sprite for the sleeves up on this. Fear not, all I need to do is use a little water-stained grease-repelling magic, and we'll have nothing to worry about. And my antibacterial protective shield is, of course, flawless.
I guess that couldn't hurt. That. I have something going in another monitor. This is all so that I don't fall asleep again. Everything should be fine at this rate. Should be. Pulling myself together, I start by instructing Caster how to dig the eyes out of the potatoes, and find myself impressed by the skill in which she handles the kitchen knife. How? Looks like you're used to dealing with cutlery.
Whatever could you mean?
I'm talking about your control with the knife. From the way you handle it, I'd have never thought you were good at cooking. When I first started teaching Sakura, a knife in her hands was so dangerous I couldn't take my eyes off of her even a second. But you're so deft, I don't see any reason for concern.
There are all sorts of blades used in magic, so is it perfectly natural that I'm accustomed to it?
Now that you mention it, you took up making ships and bottles, didn't you? That requires a pretty steady hand, too. So her fingers are skilled enough, but how should we apply that to cooking?
You should relax.
You should relax more. Think of it the same as making a magic potion.
Cooking and mixing medicinal compounds aren't even on the same level of comparison. Pharmacology, where effectiveness is the utmost importance, and cooking, where flavor and nutritional value must be in harmony in one dish, are two different things entirely, like a five-dimensional sense of intuition.
Okay, I need to know because I'm lost here. Hold on. This is the most I've ever been like, what's going on? Let's get some voices in here. Magic emotion. I was right. Okay. But isn't the way you may be following that recipe the same? I think it'd be easy for you. Yeah, there you go. Nope. Sounds like default. That's the one where they don't talk, right?
If it were so simple, I wouldn't need to be taught like this, now would I? Sakura-san said so too. That love is the most important spice in cooking. It's not the cooking itself, but the emotion you put into it for the person you want to make it for. That's half the battle. It's nothing like preparing medicine, where you concentrate all your thoughts on a complex formula that you develop as you mix ingredients together.
That's so. Cooking is part of my daily life, but I can't say I've ever thought about it that way. The only emotions that went into my cooking were those of a village chief trying to keep a hungry tiger from descending on the people of the tribe. I wonder if I haven't wasted my life. Is that Saber behind Taiga? Are you trying to say something? Oh, hey.
It is. Were I to use the same method seeking only results and somehow made delicious food that way, even if it were enough to delight Soichiro-sama, I myself would not be satisfied.
Huh.
And if the only one who gets any enjoyment out of cooking is me as I make it, then there's no point at all. It's for both of us that I have to improve.
I can only nod in admiration. There's nary a hint of cruel and capricious witch before. In her, as she stands cutting vegetables, her knife making a satisfying sound as it strikes the cutting board. Oh boy.
Shiro, I'm sorry for the trouble, but I wonder if I might request a small snack.
Target spotted. Caster gulps. Too late. Saber and Caster have already locked eyes.
Oh, it's you.
Caster? What reason have you for coming here? Shiro? Hold on, she's not an enemy. At least not today. She's here for cooking practice.
It is as he says. Thank you for having me, Saber.
How can you be so carefree? Were you really deceived by her, hiding her real intentions with such straightforwardness? It couldn't be. Shiro, does Caster have you under her power? I'm pretty sure she isn't. Also, I'd really like you to keep the fact that she was here today a secret from Sakura and the others.
The quickness with which you attempt to conceal the truth only reveals how deceitful you truly are, Caster.
Whoa, at this rate I might not be able to talk her out of this.
Caster is not to be trusted.
Have you forgotten already, Shiro, the terrible things that befell me while this woman held me prisoner? Well, I guess some pretty unfortunate stuff did happen to you back then, but, what are you looking at? Saber has stopped talking all of a sudden and is now staring intently at something over my shoulder. I glance behind me to see Caster, fiddling with a 200-gram package of sliced beef.
What is it that you'll be making?
I'm teaching her how to make a meat and potato stew today.
Meat and potato stew, is it? Meat and potato stew. Meat and potato stew.
Remember Saber over and over again.
Thanks to this boy's skill, you've been allowed the luxury of becoming very particular about food, haven't you, Saber? If I can make a meat and potato stew that meets your standards, then Soichiro-sama is sure to be delighted by it too.
I knew it. Damn, I missed a bunch. Oh man. I missed a bunch, Jesus. Saber's eyes immediately lit up with those words, just as though they were a magic spell. That's the artifice of a mage for you. I didn't think like that long ago. It would certainly seem you are no enemy of mine today, Caster.
Yes, a simple stew would be a small price to pay to gain you as an ally, Saber.
Hey, if you're gonna put it that way, isn't it way too cheap?
I understand. Leave the vanguard to the swordsmen and the rear to the mages. And in the rear, the mages can safely devote themselves to the art of cooking. I give you my oath to fight to the last against prying eyes that might discover the existence of the meat and potato stew.
She's only doing this so she has more meat and potato stew for herself. But hey, whatever works, I guess. Saber, What I'd like you to hide is the fact that Castor was here, not that we're making stew.
Well, whatever. Not like it makes much a difference either way. Then I'm counting on you, Saber. You can have this in the meantime.
Opening the cupboard to take out... Oh. Well, whatever. It's not like it makes much of a difference either way. Then I'm counting on you, Saber. You can have this in the meantime. Opening the cupboard to take out some bean-studded mochi and hand it to Saber. Way to go, Castor. Saber gets really stubborn when it comes to things like this.
There's nothing out of the ordinary about Saber. The only strange one here is you, boy. You're still willing to go along with my requests even after everything I've put you through in the past?
Speaking of that, even Ryder's now living with us. You know, comparison points.
Indeed. Just how many times has she tried to kill you, boy?
Counting the time she wanted to jump me, I choose a different subject. She snickers to herself.
That laughter is so delicate in its nuance that I can't tell whether it's meant to be agreeable or mocking.
It's all fine. It's in the past. Lance has said the same thing. There's really no reason to hate someone just because you're enemies. By now, we're not even enemies, so there's really no problem at all.
I suppose there could be something to that. There are things I've done to you, boy, that I couldn't have Sakura finding out, for example.
There's a couple things, you know. That's okay. You made your feelings clear too, Castor. That's why I have no problem teaching you how to cook. I can't read that.
That's not it. I came here on Soichiro-sama's recommendation. I'd even go to Berserker for help if that's what Soichiro-sama asked me to do.
That she says with such a straight face that it's making me, the listener, embarrassed in turn. Oh, I see. You sure are earnest when it comes to Kuzuki-sensei.
Oh my, but isn't it the same with Sakura?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Sakura sure has a hard time too. And just so you know, it's not that I hate to cook. When you love someone, you'll do whatever it takes, even lie, to stay by their side. Or food is something that you want to make sincerely without falsehood, just for them.
Yeah, I can see that. Castor gently seasons her... I'm not that tired. I just promise. Castor gently seasons her dish, as though flavoring it with the contents of her heart. Standing close by and seeing that gentle expression softening, her face warms my own heart too. Oh boy, here we go. Hello, Mr. Bob Person. Just one day, I wish I can get through a stream without seeing you.
I wish I could show it to Sakura as well.
I wish I could show it to Sakura as well.
What did you just say? Didn't you promise that it would be kept a secret from Sakura?
Huh?
Shiro.
Oh, it's only Saber.
She startled me like that. Shiro, Rin has returned. Osaka? Oh, you must mean that uncivilized ape of a girl.
You're only saying that because you got fucking bopped by her.
What a nuisance. I really don't do well with these brain over brawn types, like Berserker, or that girl. Settling everything through reasonable conversation like I did with Saber would likely be impossible with her.
Yeah, she's a formidable opponent indeed. This is unexpected. To Castor, Tosaga's even more of a handful than Saber. Okay. Well, I don't know. I meant Tosaga is moody, but...
Moody doesn't even begin to cover it. Do you truly understand? Never in a million years would I have believed that there was a mage who would abandon the use of their craft in a fight and attack with their fists.
But that's exactly what that girl did to me. I knew it. I knew that's what she was mad about.
Indeed, she's a mage of a new breed, the likes of which never existed in the olden days.
Said Saber, knowing fully well that Merlin attacked with a sword sometimes. I guess I really can't cover for her. I'd be lying if I said that her tendency to settle things with her fist hasn't caused a lot of headaches for me as well. It's also actually meant Luvia. Wait, this is the time for that. I can hear Tosaka's footsteps drawing closer by the second. Caster, isn't there some handy spell you can use? I don't know, hide yourself or teleport to another room or something? Too late. Using any magic in here now would be as good as setting off a signal flare. She'll know in a second. Crap, she's almost here. She approaches. Oop, shit.
Hey, Emiya-kun.
Hey, Tosaka. Welcome back. You're here early.
What is she doing over there?
The second she enters the living room, Tosaka's brows knit. She must have noticed something was right away thanks to the saucepan gripped in the hands of the nervously sweating Saber, which is clanking like an alarm bell as she trembles.
Now, this is a curious turn of events. Seeing Saber in the kitchen isn't it a little early to be starting dinner preparations?
I sure hope my mic isn't muted, Mr. Bob Person. Oh, we're holding a bit of a cooking class. There's all kinds of things you could use meat and potatoes stew for, you know?
Hey, Saber, that's not a wok.
Saber, who's vigorously stirring the ingredients in the pot, brings to mind her country's rough heritage. Anyway, as you can see, I'm a little tied up with this at the moment. Come back later if you need me for something.
I see. By the way, what's this cloth-wrapped purple thing down here getting underfoot? Garbage?
Please don't kick it. I can't very well tell her that it's Caster trying to hide by crouching down on the floor with her robe turned inside out. Tosaka's been repeatedly poking the Caster bundle with her foot. She hadn't so much as twitched the entire time. Caster's actually done a pretty remarkable job of disguising herself. The perks of that giant-ass cloak.
That's a good one.
Actually, go ahead and ask me now. I'll submit utterly to any request, so please direct your scorn at me rather than the garbage. That's right. I didn't come all this way over here just to talk about garbage. Oh,
That's right. I didn't come all the way over here to talk about garbage bags. I was hoping I could borrow Saber for a bit, but it looks like now's not a good time.
Indeed, I cannot withdraw from the kitchen at this time. It is my sworn duty to protect this place.
And I was going to let you sample the souvenirs I brought back, too.
Well then, Shiro, I leave the rest to you. Geez, didn't take much of you to change your mind. Saber's eyes and mine silently meet. I shall lure it away from here. Yeah, please do. All right, leave the rest to me.
Understood. So please make plenty of stew.
Yeah, we'll take great pains to make at least 20% more than we planned.
Eye contact completed. Transmission over and out. I see. Then come to my room.
The two of them exit the kitchen one after the other. Once I've seen them leave... You're good, Caster.
Garbage bag. I have been called a witch before and an enchantress surely, but a garbage bag?
She trails off into sobs. I knew casters always viewed this house as an enemy fortress, but I didn't realize just how dangerous to her it really was. It seems her road to mastery in the kitchen is filled with hardships yet to come. Sorry, caster. But it was fun, and I got a wallpaper out of it. Yay. We're coming up at the end of the last day. What could this possibly be? Wait, unless it's that one that I think it's that one that I keep skipping over. Yeah. That was weird. Why did it call it new? Oop. What? The violet snake laps up the blood. 3 a.m. Tonight, another one-sided slaughter has begun. As always, the stage is empty. Yama's residents are fast asleep in their homes. The beings change from one moment to the next. Skewered by enormous nail-like daggers, hung from the streetlights, crushed by coiling chains. Occasionally, she goes too far and tears them to pieces. On a whim, she catches one in her hand and crushes its head. There are a great variety of methods. Emulating a comic she recently read, she lifts a large vehicle and flattens them beneath it. By chance, there just happened to be one nearby on a construction site. While stopping to catch her breath, she considers whether to head back or keep going. Her objective, if she remembers correctly, is to investigate this anomaly. The restarted Holy Grail War. In order to seek out the cause behind it, she's been running rampant through the streets at night. Her efforts yield some limited success. Another servant has been keeping watch in Shinto, but has never found any clues. However, there's one major difference between her and the other servants. The monsters prowling the city at night. No one should have noticed them until the final day, but she'd perceived them right from the start. To root out whatever was behind them, she would sneak out of the house by herself and continue her investigation, one corpse at a time. There's no particular emotion driving her. When doing something out of no special interest, her body moves on its own. She becomes a machine without feeling, carrying out a predetermined task. Thus, she finds these moonlit hunts neither intriguing nor tedious, instead classifying it as an ordinary chore. A fruitless, unending endeavor. A task neither boring nor exciting. She'll attempt it again and again until it yields results. Nevertheless, since when did the hunt itself become the anomaly, she wondered. She controls her ragged breathing. Her self-appointed duty was completed after about half an hour. No, there's one thing she couldn't help but complete it. No matter how much she wants to investigate, there's no material left. A red sea of carnage. She cannot find anything to distinguish from that. There's nothing left to analyze. She needs to examine each of her prey diligently, down to their eye sockets. But there are none left. She controls her ragged breathing. Though indeed monsters, they're little more than trash when up against her. A mere 100 or 200 wouldn't even serve as a warm-up. And yet she controls her ragged breathing. Letting out what seem like pained gasps, she decides to continue the investigation. One more. I'll just check one more. Persuading herself of this, she jumps into the next hunting ground. There's a horde of roughly 100 monsters. After examining tens of thousands of them, she knew what answers would not be found here, and yet she continues the massacre in the name of research. Without feeling, she mechanically bathes in blood. Her breathing begins to quicken again. Once more. I just want to examine one more. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, the only ones dying are monsters. There are countless more to kill, and there's something she had decided to do. So she doesn't feel there any problem or meaning in what she's doing. After all, they are the bad ones. If they didn't want to be killed, then they shouldn't have appeared. And yet they gush out in huge numbers like insects, forcing her to take them on. She wants to be left alone, but she has no choice other than to oppose them. That's right. In the very beginning, she really didn't want to do this. But there were other things that were more important. That's why she kept to her role. Still, because it was just too unpleasant, she decided to become something unlike a living creature when she worked. A simple trap that kills people. Medusa? Where are you? Shouldn't you be back by now? She heard that after one of her countless tasks. Oh.
Come, hurry home. Stethna received a wonderful gift. It'll make a special exception today and share some with you.
As always, she became a trap for the humans to try and take away her sisters by force.
What an awful smell. Medusa, are you over there?
They were not petrified. Those bodies were.
Medusa? What are you doing over there?
The hunched figure slurping flinched. I don't want to remember. Back then, her sister's eyes, which were always radiating joy, turned stark white with fear towards her. The feast in the name of her investigation continues. Each time she plays their part, her body grows more accustomed to its role. Her ferocity grows without end. These monsters, while stronger than humans, could never touch her. Their fodder, worthy only to be crushed underfoot. She feels her transmission shift gear by gear, from low to middle, middle to high. The only issue, if any, is that there's no limit to her gearbox. Meaning the question of whether her chassis can withstand the ever-increasing RPM. Why has she become so immersed in her role? Must be because the enemy is so weak and the setting so ideal that she's given such priority to this task despite herself, she thinks. After all, town is empty. The people vanished at the stroke of midnight. Perhaps they were all killed by the monsters, or perhaps they never existed to begin with. It must be the latter. Those monsters are things that hunt down humans, but not once has she seen them kill anyone. They only act against those that are the same as them. These monsters only feel interest or hatred towards their fellow monsters. Huh? Hence, she is taken by surprise. With the monsters present, she thought there wouldn't be any people around. So, when a young woman appears wandering aimlessly into the park, though she knew it was human with a single glance, she slices through the woman without any hesitation. Her regret and confusion fade immediately. This was always a ghost town. So what if a human wandered in by mistake? Even if she didn't kill her, the monsters surely would have. So it's fine. That was a trivial, inconsequential mistake that won't happen again, she thinks with a sigh. It's not fine. No matter what you are, no matter what the circumstances. You have killed a human being. The dead woman's mouth proclaims her sin with a voice like a song. She stands up. Blood pours from the open wound. She clutches her throat. Her ragged breaths beg for oxygen. The sight makes her dizzy with vertigo. What a sweet smell. The delicious red essence of life, which she can find no matter where she looked or how many monsters she killed. You can't stand it anymore, can you? If you can't endure it any longer, then do as you please. After all, you attacked me, the human, first because that's what you wanted, right? The voice pierces her heart. That's right. There's still a flood of monsters. And yet she ignored those which were her object of investigation and hurled her dagger at the girl. She shakes her head in denial. Her dirty hair sways like snakes. Desperately, she objects, claiming it was an accident, completely outside her duty. Your duty? You mean that's what you want to know, the cause of this anomaly? What a lie. You don't even care about what's going on in the city. Her heart is sliced through, its context is exposed. That's right. She doesn't give a damn about the peace of the city. This investigation is carried out only for the sake of her master. My, what a splendid servant.
But is that really for her sake?
The air turns to poison. The woman approaches her, step by step. Not with her legs, but her words. Approaching not her body, but her heart. She's trying to knock down the last pillar remaining in her broken self. After repeating this for days on end, you must be tired of it all. I'll make this easy for you. Honestly, I'm sick of watching it as well. She throws her dagger towards the flapping lips. Her aim is perfect. It skewers the girl's tongue and splatters even more of her blood. But even then... Admit it, Medusa. The truth is you hold a grudge. A grudge against humans. In truth, you're enjoying this. Enjoying killing people. You simply don't need a reason at all. Though you say she is important, this is what is more important to you. The girl's still standing. The purple snakes are gradually blackened by her gushing blood. Choosing to function as a machine won't change the weight of the lives you took. Even if you cast your eyes down, the lost lives will still linger. Keep living with that bottled up, and someday, you'll lose sight of even yourself. She's an eyesore. No matter who this human is, she's just an eyesore. So she kills her until she shuts up. She cuts open the girl's warm stomach and tears out the entrails. She almost shouts out in joy. More than any human she'd had laid hands on before, taking out her anger on this girl. Feels so good. She continues to mutilate the girl's body from the stomach outward, only until the head is left. Surely, the chatter will stop now. Relief gushes through her body, and just when it feels a slight tinge of regret that she can't kill anymore, now you understand. Return to where you belong, monster. At last, she realizes her true feelings. She's an unendurable desire to kill humans. Once upon a time, there was a princess. One day, the people who had loved the princess started hating her, and they sent her off on an island far, far away. Compared to her glorious life up until then, the island was very empty. Frightened by the people, who had gotten angry at her without reason, the princess prayed that no one would come to the island. Still, she was very, very lonely. She wept and wondered what she had done wrong.
You always cry when you're left alone, don't you, Medusa? We cannot permit our family to disgrace us so.
After a short time, her elder sisters arrived at the island.
I don't care about you, Medusa, but I suppose we could use a servant.
How wonderful! Although they were still loved by all, the princess's sisters moved in there for her sake. The princess was not lonely anymore. Though the island had nothing, she was happy because her sisters were there with her. The only things left to fear were humans. Kill the monster! With great courage, they came to chase the princess away. Snatch the goddesses away! She could have borne it if that had been all. But then the people began to point their swords at her two sisters. To protect her sisters, the princess decided to take revenge. How wonderful. Yes, this time, she could just do to the humans what they had done to her. She killed many humans. After all, even if she tried to escape, the princess had nowhere to go but the island. I don't want anybody to come. She had always wanted to be left alone, in peace, with her sisters, but...
Stop, Medusa. It was the foolish humans who sought us out. The blame for their death falls on their own heads. But you must not take pleasure in killing them.
Yet still they came, one after another. Since there was no end to them, she started experimenting with new ways to eliminate them more quickly. When the trap she devised proved effective, she found it a tad funny.
The purpose of your mystic eyes is to warn people. They should never be used to sow terror.
But it was only right that those who had done nothing but scold the princess thus far should come to fear her as well.
Stop drinking that. You're starting to scare Uriel.
No matter how infamous and fearsome she became, the humans kept approaching with boundless ferocity. The sisters continued to scold the princess. The princess felt too ashamed to show her body that had changed shape a little. And she left the sisters once dearly loved. In the end, she was alone again. Sad and lonely, she hungered for new sacrifices. Come to think of it, in the beginning, we were the sacrifices, she laughed, bathed in red. She swings her daggers with delight. Cackling with scorn, she tramples them beneath her. Without rest or respite, she continues running as if fleeing something. She feels giddy with each one she crushes. Giddy with disgust. Giddy with amusement. Before long, her captivation intensifies into wild passion. Before she realizes she was butchering the monsters in a frenzy. She doesn't want to think about anything, so she can't help but let her primal instincts take over and enjoy the hunt. The night continues. The slaughter continues. There are no living humans in the city at night. The only ones roaming about are the monsters. And she is broken. The more she kills, the heavier her body grows. The more she crushes, the more she forgets her own words. In a word, she is broken. Suddenly, she lowers her eyes. Her body's beginning to change, just like that time. She does not scream. Her boiling head cools at an impossible speed. Of course this happened. There's no time for lamentations or ridicule. In that brief moment of absent-mindedness, she is stabbed without mercy. Monsters surround the wounded beast. The remains of her humanity are on the verge of death. Impaled by multiple claws, nothing is left of her body below her chest. She's been cut into fine pieces. What remains of the blackened monster can only last a few minutes more. Through her ragged breath, she looks at her bloodied palms, deep and crimson red. She turns her claws, barely resembling human hands, to the monsters converging upon her. This corpse could still fight back. The creatures meekly decide to observe the new brethren as she dies out. Even breathing is difficult. Though she's already dying, her body continues to transform. Surely it won't stop even if she dies. After what is left of the woman stops breathing, she will disappear and be reborn as a monstrous anti-hero with no trace of her original form. I already... She murmurs, still being able to utter human words feels like some kind of lingering attachment, and it irritates her. Knew that. Dimly, she looks at her deforming hands. She has known all along. She had confessed it to him as well. That her form was only temporary, that her true nature was that of a hideous monster. Oh, that's a good one, actually. She was destined for ruin. From the moment she consumed human, her end had been determined. But day by day she grew. First her body crumpled, then her heart, and finally her very being decayed. All she ever wanted was to become stronger in order to protect her sisters. But in the end, even her sisters were nothing more than nuisances intruding upon her lair. The end of that chapter is unknown to her. At the time, she had neither eyes nor nose nor mouth. She had become a world that only crushed its prey. No, that had been violence committed by the monster in the first place. It had nothing to do with her before she changed. So it shouldn't be painful, but... That must have been it, she thought. And at that thought, she felt a sudden urge to gouge out her eyes.
What a foolish little sister you are.
New sacrifices appear before the monster of their own accord. Joining hands, they still their trembling legs and look up at the completely disfigured monster.
No, what foolish sisters we were. I did not intend to have you protect us, but you look like you were having so much fun. I couldn't help but become dependent on you,
said the eldest sister, Stethno, in a gentle voice. Lovingly, like always, she smiles at the monster.
Speak for yourself, other me.
Stethno got desperate because she gives up too early. But I intend...
Stethno got desperate because she gives up too early, but I intended to protect my chastity forever,
grumbled the second sister, Uriel. She curses and insults her monstrous sibling, but at times she looks like the she-beast with true sadness. At the she-beast, whatever.
That's wonderful. Then you must be happy now, aren't you, Uriel? We managed to remain pure right up until the end.
Stethno grabs her sister's hands, her own hands trembling slightly, seeking to comfort their fear. From their fear. Never abandoning that which they hold dear.
Yeah, I don't like it, but this girl would look so silly if we didn't. We'd have to give it some meaning at least.
The sacrifices think to themselves. They were the ones who hated humans, and their younger sister had never bore men any ill will. Yet it had come to this. Two sisters were loved by men, and were destined to be violated by them day after day. The elder sister accepted it as fate, while the younger despised it. But both of them had given up. Yet the youngest sister protected them until the end.
You protected us, but the Medusa who protected us is no longer here. So, we, whom she protected, shall disappear as well.
That which was lost shall never return. Stethno, who had dreamed that the three of them would live forever on the island far away, closes her eyes and raises her head.
It's already in front of me. Well then, goodbye, my cute Medusa. Since it's the end, I'll just let this slip. You know, we were the ones who admired you.
The days have gone by, shall never return. Uriel, who had believed that one day the three of them would escape the rustic temple and return home, smiles, like she used to, and raises her head. Stop, 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 stop! Countless snakes consume both sacrifices. Without joy, without sadness. As though crushing ants, the monster grinds the sisters into a pulp. In this way, the immortal girls, retaining their form as beautiful sisters to the very end, while still alive, were absorbed into the monster. Consumed without a trace left behind, they became the monster's flesh and blood, and it continued to thrive. Thus became of the 3 Gorgon sisters. Thus the 3 goddesses banished to the Shapeless Isle became the monsters the people had rumored them to be. What did she love? What did she want? She had so little that was precious to her that she swore to protect them no matter what, and yet, now that she's heading to her death, while she's being transformed, she can't even recall it. She can't stop the transformation. At this rate, she'll turn into a monster and disappear. Everything will end with that. From now on, she'll be summoned as a monster, not to protect humans, but to annihilate them. She can't stop the transformation. There's nothing to be done, nothing to care about. The swarm of creatures is like the band at a festival. They reveled with hatred at the birth of a new monster. Her consciousness wanes. She has a feeling there's still something left to do, and she can't quite seem to place it. As her life comes to a close, she quietly shuts her eyes. Ooh. She notices an unfamiliar presence peering at her. Huh? You can see me? I see. You got turned into a monster too, huh? Though it feels like she's never heard his voice before, the laughter sounds all too familiar. A smirking grin and sneering eyes. It irritates her considerably. Her sadistic heart starts to pound again. If her body was strong, she would have leaped forward and plucked its head right off. Ah, nah, I see. Not quite. You're not something so clear-cut. You're not something... Oh, are you aware of what you are? Aware. She isn't prepared for it, but she accepts it as truth. This heroic spirit's seat would no longer be Medusa's, that of the monstrous Gorgon. I see. Quite astute of you. But it looks like you still don't know what it means to be a monster. Get it? A monster doesn't attack humans to live. It lives to attack humans. It's a slaughter mechanism that's completely antithetical to human society. It acts as a harmful toxin just by being there. That's what a monster is. Now, can you still call yourself one? She already knows that. From now on, she will embody that concept over and over again. Why ask that now? Since the beginning, Since the beginning, she has been a monster. A monster camouflaged in human intellect and appearance. If she could someday become such a monster, then her true nature must be the same. That's why it doesn't matter anymore. She roamed the city at night in search of blood, and found herself indulging in slaughter. Such a monster would shed its skin to reveal its true colors someday, just like this. Ha! And yet it laughs. Heartfelt mirth. Heartfelt hatred. As if to scorn the woman who, by the minute, was turning into a hideous monster. I'm telling you, it's not the same. Look, a monster isn't something that kills on instinct. It's something that kills with unsurpassed reason, fully exploiting its overwhelming superiority over humans,
spluttering without doubt or regret, and writhing in ecstasy during the act. Now that is a monster. Someone who just happens to start killing people is something different altogether. You're some half-baked killer that's neither the former nor the latter. You still have time to choose which one to become. Her intellect wants to just fall into the abyss already. It stubbornly clings to the cliff's edge. She continues clutching pitifully at the earth, wishing for solid ground. What do you mean? Don't you get it? One half of you craves blood, and the other half cares about something else. Both sides are who you are. You can't deny either of them. It's not like some desires are inherently superior to others. Which is greater? Which is more valuable? That changes depending on the occasion. The real question is, do you still have it? What? The slightest bit of strength returns to her arm. She summons all her reserves of desperation. It's not enough to pull her out into the abyss. No matter how much she struggles, she will only disappear at this rate. Laughing, it looks down upon her. I ask you, servant rider, in your hearts, is there any fragments of your desires left? Yeah, it does look like him. I have no desires. There is something I truly wished for. Return to where you belong, monster. That's right. Even if she's still Medusa now, she can't save herself. If she's to become Gorgon soon. From the start, there was never a way to save herself. So she has no desires. No matter how happy days past were, if she would devour them all eventually, there would be nothing left in her hands. However, even one such she can still save someone. A servant is summoned to a master whom its nature is similar. This is all the more if the summoning catalyst is weak. Because her master had the same fate as her, she was summoned to that girl. A girl fated to turn into a monster. The victims turned aggressors formed a contract in this world as fellow monsters. That is why she doesn't want her to end up the same. Although she can't change what it is, what she is, she can protect the girl who holds the same fate as herself. Her unfulfilled happiness, her irredeemable sin. How deeply she loved that pretty, foolish girl's desperate struggle, but on a brave face. Huh? She stares at her hands, dumbfounded. Her transformation is halted, and she's fading away as her human self. Why? Because you're not a monster. How embarrassing. Because you have the desire to help someone. You just barely managed to become a heroic spirit. A human being. She can hear a voice from elsewhere. The speaker's near, can no longer be seen. Oh well, that's settled then. Your anguish will follow you for eternity. But as long as you have that wish, you won't turn into a monster. And for as long as that anguish follows you, you'll never come over to this side. The presence fades. The shadow gives an all too friendly wave and disappears. Wait. You are... Coughing blood, she calls out to that figure. What a persistent snake lady. You got some impressive vitality, but just die quickly this time. And when you wake up, be sure to apologize to your master. It's kind of hypocritical coming from me. Master and servant have to get along. Snickering, it finally disappears. In the end, She thinks it resembled a young man she knows very well. Yeah, it did. Ah, that's right. She gives a deep sigh. She lowers her clinging arms. Really, I am always such an idiot. And this time her eyes finally close. Relieved that rather than merely die, she's recovered her wish, she murmurs, I'll be home soon, so wait for me. Sakura. Swearing a promise she could never keep, the beautiful figure vanishes from the earth.
Ooh, shit. And then extra in between bits. Wow, shit. Ooh. There's been a lot of really good. Okay. So I know Hollow Ataraxia was kind of like, we're going to work on more characters that were kind of underdeveloped more. This is like really, really leaning hard on the Medusa angle. This is great. I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is very interesting. I want to see, let me see the new wallpapers. So we got, ooh. I don't know that I can use this one for a couple reasons. That's a good one though. Yeah. I earned like 3 today. Is it this one? Maybe. That's a good one. Oh, that one too. I feel like I recognize that art style, but I don't want to place it. That's the one I used today, actually. All right. Anything new from the Tosaka Shrine? I think it's this one, Emma. Do I have enough? 80 or 800? 30,000 yen? Hot damn. What the fuck? 800. 800, okay. 30,000. Jesus Christmas Christ. I guess I'll never know. Apparently this is supposed to be like capsule servant, maybe? I don't know. I had heard that that Hollow Ataraxia, the remake has everything in it, literally 1-to-1, except for capsule servant. So I'm kind of genuinely curious about what that is. Maybe this one has capsule servant. I don't know. I'll never finish it. But that was really cool. I really like getting these little insights into like what's going on with the servants. And yeah, we got to see more about Gorgon there. So fellows who are also into a Grand Order would also know Gorgon is well, she found her way to be a heroic spirit. It's kind of like literally right before she was all full weird-eyed like that. Hey, let's see if where is it? Where is it? What's that? Oh, it's our organ. What's that? I don't remember saying that earlier. Oh yeah, and then you get to see the different variations. Interesting. But her Gorgon's Noble Phantasm is literally this thing. What is it called? Whatever. This is interesting. It's kind of like these are the most. Which is like, yeah, attacking. You can see eyes in the back. And then the one with this Uriel and Seth, no. Good. This was really good. It also touched upon something that I think is very interesting, which is something that even Fate's Day Night was like, this is how it's supposed to work. But very frequently proves to not be the truth, which is things that happen to the serpent aren't really supposed to feed back into the throne. But even just then, right now, this is like the second or third installment in the Fate series, and they're already going back on that it doesn't really feed back into each other. It's they're independent, Yeah, whatever bullshit. It literally just now said that like Medusa's spot on the throne was about to be overtaken by Gorgon, which is very interesting to think about. But was saved by Sakura. So anybody, including me, who really likes Gorgon, and I guess classic Medusa in Great Order, and I think she is an extra, isn't she? She's an Extella. Say thank you to Sakura, because she's, yeah. That's shit. If only I was paying a little bit more attention to Ordeal Call 1 when they just rehashed Sakura and Medusa's relationship again, although a little bit more extra. That was very good. You could probably compare and contrast. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. I kind of want to stick to just doing one loop at a time, and this one was more or less making up for like the little half loop I fell asleep during. But yeah, hopefully at some point soon we get more, because we keep skipping. I don't know if they just didn't have a whole lot of like day 1 and day 2 events, but day 3 and day 4 are like chock-a-block full of stuff that I haven't read yet, and days 1 and 2 are like, it's dead. So depending on how it goes, I might start just like we're doing 2 loops at a time, maybe. I don't know, I gotta figure this out anyway. But that's enough out of me, guys. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your week. Hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. Where did I put that thing that I wanted to read out? But also, I have one last thing that I want to say, which I will say as soon as I can find it again. I leave little notes for myself when I want to think about it. Anyway. Right. So I can get real with everybody for a second. Like, I really don't ask you guys to like and subscribe or comment or anything like that. Though you should if you want. Not really stopping you. But I'm not really gonna like you on about it. But what I will ask you guys is to have a good day. And if you're not having a good day, maybe try and take some steps to make it a better one. Whether it's, small steps like dishes or laundry, or, even taking a little bit to like, let's go gambling. Carefully, anyway. Or like big ones, like, signing certain petitions and making certain calls. There's a lot of shit going on right now. I really do hope you guys can find it in yourselves to, make your guys' day better instead of just, waiting and wishing. There's plenty of that going around. There's not a whole lot of people making their days better. Although I will say, a lot of people are calling their cards right about now. Man, that shit with the cards is crazy. Put out a statement, we're like, we didn't coerce anybody to do or say anything. And then Steam directly going like, yeah, they forced us to take certain games down. Shocking. Jeez. Anyway, take care, guys. Really, I do mean it. And hope you're having a good one. Later.